Well, hello there, folks, and a very warm welcome as usual back to What's for Tea. It's lovely to see you all again, and I hope that I find you very well indeed. So, thanks for coming over. And tonight for tea, we had this amazing beef and ale stew. I'm using Guinness in this, and it just gives it a lovely rich flavour. Super easy and absolutely delicious. The only cooking you're going to have to do in this recipe is browning off your beef, but you can skip that step, but in my opinion well worth the extra 10 minutes. So let me go and show you how I put this together. So in a large frying pan I've got some olive oil, and then to this I'm going to add my stewing beef or casserole steak or diced beef, whatever you have. It's nice and lean. And then to this I'm going to sprinkle some flour on the top. This is going to help, protect the beef as it's frying and cooking, and it'll also thicken up the gravy as well. So like I said, not absolutely essential this step. So a wee bit of salt and pepper as well, but it will give you the best results. It just takes about 10 minutes, and I always brown off or fry off my beef before I add it to the slow cooker. If I'm making this kind of thing, I think it makes a big difference. So just keep frying off your beef until it's all gone. It doesn't have to be cooked all the way through. You just want a wee bit of colour on there just to kind of seal everything in, and I was happy enough with this. So now we can go over to the slow cooker. I am using a crock pot, and I always get asked, what size is it? This one is a 2.5 litre crock pot, but work in any crock pot that you've got, just as long as it's big enough. Doesn't matter if it's bigger, but you don't want it any smaller. So I am using baby potatoes. I've just sliced mine through the middle and thrown them into the bottom, and then on top of that I'm going to put my carrots. So I've just peeled and cut these carrots on an angle just to make them look a wee bit fancier. So I'm going to throw the carrots in as well, and I'm also using swede, or you could use turnip or rutabaga, something like this. It's just for that lovely sweet flavour, and it's going to have a lovely, a really nice texture once it's cooked as well, and amongst everything else. So pop that in as well, and then to this I'm going to add my beef stock. So I am just using OXO cubes, but you can use whatever stock you prefer. And to this I'm going to add a tablespoon of black treacle. So this is my black treacle here. If you don't have black treacle, you can use molasses, something like that. If you're in a country where you can't easily get black treacle, just use molasses. I'm also using Guinness, but you can use something similar, some kind of similar stout. And my Guinness is actually 0% alcohol. So if you're someone who doesn't like to use alcohol in their cooking, you will get the flavour of the Guinness, just none of the alcohol. So it's absolutely perfect. And it tastes exactly the same as normal Guinness. So pop your treacle into your hot stock. You want to stir that around just until it all melts, and set that to the side. I'm going to pop my beef into the slow cooker and everything else that's in that pan. There's bags of flavour in these juices, so please add the juices as well. And it should be looking something like this. And then on top of this I'm going to throw an onion. I finely diced one medium onion. But honestly, see, to this dish you can add all sorts of things, whatever vegetables you prefer, you can just add them in. I'm just showing you a very simplified version, but you can add obviously whatever you like. I'm going to throw my stock on the top, followed by that Guinness as well. I didn't know they done 0% alcohol Guinness. It must be a new thing, and it's perfect for this kind of thing. Like I said, a lot of folk don't like cooking with alcohol, so it's a good way of getting that Guinness flavour without the alcohol. Give it a wee stir around to make sure everything is nice and even. Pop your lid on, and I gave this one low for 7 hours. You can do this on high, but in my opinion it's best cooked low and slow for as long as possible. But you don't want all your beef breaking up, which was what ended up happening to some of mine. I left mine on a wee bit too long, but it just, it was just super tender and was starting to fall apart. So I didn't want to stir this around too much because I could see it starting to fall apart. Everything else was fine. It was just the beef that was starting to go. I think it's because I fried it so well initially, but yeah, delicious. And just a wee close-up shot of it here. See the beautiful texture of this beef as well. Now you can add frozen peas to this, or parsley, other herbs. It's entirely up to you. I just kept this one simple. So into my wee dish at the side just for presentation. I would typically just put this in the plate as it is, but for presentation we'll put it in a wee dish. This is fab with mashed potato as well, but we've just had some crusty bread with butter on the side because it's quite a soupy stew. I think you really do need the bread, and I think the bread goes really well with this. If you wanted a thicker stew, you could add something like gravy granules or corn flour if you prefer it a bit thicker. But for this, for a nice winter night with some crusty bread and butter, I don't think you can beat that. It's just so simple and really tasty and really easy, like I said. So do let me know if you're planning and giving that one a go. And a huge thank you as usual to the supporters of the channel over on my Patreon page, and to the channel members here as well, and for you all for watching, leaving your lovely comments, and for those that share the videos as well. It's all very much appreciated. And a huge thank you to my Patreon members for helping me out with the thumbnail this morning. I couldn't decide on the thumbnail. I'm always stuck with that, so thank you very much. And for those that have bought me a coffee using the Buy Me a Coffee link. And I will catch up with you during the week for another wee video back here on What's for Tea. Take care and bye for now.